Okay, sick. How was your weekend?
Not too bad. Went and saw Black Panther last night.
Any good?
Uh, Look, it was alright. It wasn't bad. It wasn't great. It was fine.
You
It's a
wouldn't
bit hyped, so
you wouldn't recommend it?
I would recommend it to people that like Marvel movies, but like it was just like another superhero movie. At the end of the day, it was nothing like special.
Yeah, I'm so
It
sick of
was
all
not
the
like a
superhero movies. There's just been too many.
yeah. I wouldn't recommend it to you then probably.
So I was thinking today we just talk about Summit and what we did for Summit.
Yeah.
So if someone wants to
hmm
watch and maybe want to host their own, then they can go ahead and know how we did
I
it.
think it's a great idea. It's such a good thing for like a community to do, like a little slumber party.
Super
It's so
Smash
great.
Slumber Sleepover was one of the names that was
Yeah,
going around.
that was name one. So Downsmash Summit's actually a step up from what we had.
Well, I'm already recording, so should we just get into it?
Yeah, of course.
So do you want to explain to the great people out there what
Mm.
Downsmash Summit was?
Well, it sort of started out. I think people in the Queensland Smash Discord were just sort of talking like, "Oh man, wow, wouldn't it be good if we had something like Summit, the one in America, and wouldn't it be so cool if we could do that?" And then I was just like, let's do it though. I want to do it though. So I reached out to you and I said, "Hey man, you see what they're talking about in Queensland Discord? Let's just do it. Let's just do this thing, man."
Yeah.
So I think that's sort of how it started. I
Yeah.
just made that snap decision.
Originally, I was going to do it at my house. And then it was just going
Ah,
to be like
yeah,
a few of us, maybe like 6 or 7 or
yeah.
something. And then heaps of people wanted to come. And then it was going to be like
Mm.
12 plus people. And my wife's like, hang on. We don't really have room for 12 people in our little house.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
but yeah, we did it different to regular Summit where they vote people in and they
Mm.
elect, the top players to come in because we wanted to do this for our local scene and to grow our
Exactly.
local Queensland scene. And so it wasn't
Mm.
really a focus on the top players in Australia. Or I guess
Yeah.
if you did the top players in our region, most of them were there because it's a pretty small region.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly, yeah. But we didn't want to like say no to anyone either. So if word got out and they ended up other people from interstate if they wanted to come and they wanted to come play with Queensland players that probably wouldn't rank nationally, they can come along if they want. And the guys that did come along were sick. So
Yeah, so it was pretty pimping. We got this mansion on the Gold Coast. I'll put some pictures up when I edit the video so people will be seeing the
it was
pictures
very
of the
nice.
mansion. But it was pimping.
Mm.
To organise it, all we did was went on Airbnb and found a house that would accept 16 people and then applied to say, yeah, we want to have 16 boys come and stay. Is that all right?
They should have known.
Yeah. We did get a noise complaint on the first night that we were there, which was pretty rough, but otherwise it was pretty good.
Wasn't it 3? It was like 3 in one go.
Yeah,
We pissed
apparently
everyone around us off
Yeah,
in one
apparently we
go.
had 3 noise complaints. So we learned for next time to go maybe a bit more rural and to be a bit further
Yeah.
away from other houses so we can play Mafia late at night and not worry about it.
Yeah.
But we did.
Yeah, that was certainly one thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry, go on.
we're just kind of summarizing for people what the event was. So we booked the house
Mm.
for 2 nights. And so people rocked up. We did Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, because let's face it, no one who plays Melee has a job anyway. So it doesn't matter. And it was cheaper to do it not over the weekend, not Friday, Saturday
Yeah.
night. Though I think in the future we probably would do Friday, Saturday night. I don't know.
Yeah, there were a few timing issues with people. But in the end, it wasn't like too bad. It didn't hurt us too bad. But I definitely think starting on the Friday, ending on the Sunday would be perfect.
Would be better.
But we managed to get Dozim's birthday in there for the time period we had. So
Yeah.
that was nice. That was a nice. We all sung him happy birthday.
Yeah.
He kissed Watlez. That was nice.
Big pash. Lots of tongue happening. But yeah, so we booked the
Best
house
person.
for 2 nights, brought heaps of setups. I think we had 8 setups for 16 people.
Mhm.
So we not invited 16 people, but we kind of put ticket prices, we made them $150 a head. and it was basically first in, best dressed. So limit of 16 because that's the limit that Airbnb put on how many people we could have. Plus, it makes like such a tidy bracket when you do it.
Yeah.
16 bracket.
Yeah, it was very neat.
Top 8, and then 8 in amateurs. It works out really perfectly. But yeah, so we did that. Took setups. Took a lot of beers. You made lots of food, and we just hung out for the weekend.
Yeah, I think with the organization of us going into it, the thing that I was worried about kind of before we got there, before I saw how like massive it was where we were going to put everything, like all the setups and stuff. We were sort of like trawling through the photos because something I've realized, I guess, just learning, slowly learning TO stuff is like the layout of TVs and stuff is super important. So I was trying to troll through these photos like, oh man, where are we going to put everything? But it sort of worked out. We got this like one massive area that was sort of a lounge room that connected to an outside porch, and we sort of fit nearly everything in there. Yeah. So everything was...
We had a bunch of setups outside, which was really good.
Yeah. And we managed to fit a head-to-head setup as well.
Yep, so we had the 2 TVs running, and we had a stream running and stuff like that. So it was good. I think everyone had a good time. It was really good. The competition was good because we had a couple of interstate players come. So we had Quetz from WA, and then we had Decker from Victoria who came, and they won everything. They won teams.
Wow, what a surprise.
They won teams. They came first and second in singles. They came first and second in the low tier tournament that we ran. Yeah. They won everything, which is kind of good because it helps pay for their flights and stuff like that.
Yeah.
The thing that I was most worried about was selling all the tickets. Was actually getting 16 people willing to pay $150 to come to a weekend away. I thought I was pretty confident we could do it, but I was a bit worried.
Yeah, initially worry coming up because we announced it at a Downsmash event. We basically said at everyone, guys, there's going to be an announcement tonight. Make sure you come along. And we had a pretty decent turnout from memory. And yeah, I put together a little video, and we put that up. And yeah, so I was super nervous that not everyone would be keen, but actually they went quite quick. Yeah. At the end of the day.
Well, I think we sold out within 24 hours. I think.
Yeah.
Approximately.
And that was including like interstate players and stuff as well. We did have a few issues with like having to chop and change some people, but I mean, even that wasn't that hard at the end of the day. We found replacements pretty quick.
Yeah. It was only
people were keen for it.
It was only really towards the end where Scared had to drop out because he was moving to Sydney, and then Oro's work did a flip on him and said, nah, you can't have those days off. So we had 2 spare tickets, like 1 to 2 weeks out from the event. That was a bit harder to fill, but we managed to fill it. One of the tickets was Russell on the day of the event. He's like, I want to. He's like, I want to come. Is there still a ticket? I'm like, yeah, dude, there is. Come on. And so he was.
The Love Muscle had a massive run too.
Yeah, well, he was stoked because he made they came 3rd in doubles, so he made some coin there, and then he came 3rd in singles, upsetting Smoke Up and Jaybirds, and so
yeah, absolutely nuts.
So I think he covered about half his ticket through his winnings. Oh, and he won Cruise as well.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. Oh gosh, don't talk to me about Cruise, dude.
So I think, just for people who don't know how the event went, we rocked up on Sunday afternoon. Me and Bad rocked up a bit early and did the setup that we needed to do. So we set up basically everything, and then people started coming in dribs and drabs around 3 or 4 o'clock, and then we started with a low tier tournament that didn't go off that well. No one really enjoyed that, but we'll talk about that in a sec. But yeah, we did.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
We did low tier tournament, then we did doubles. Am I right? Did we do doubles on that Friday night?
Yes, we did
Sunday
doubles
night?
that day.
So we did doubles on the Sunday night. And then we stayed up and played Mafia until like 2 a.m. in the morning.
That's when there's those numerous noise complaints coming in.
I didn't realize Mafia would be so noisy.
Oh, dude, it was crazy. Well, we did have the door open, to be fair.
Yeah.
I think we didn't realize.
We shut the door at like 11.
People,
but
yeah.
Still.
How far people yelling, "You're a mafia! You're a mafia!" would travel down the valleys of Nerang.
Yeah. And then, so we saved doubles top 4 for the next day, which was Monday.
Yeah.
And that was, so we had one afternoon, then we had a whole day. So we did doubles top 4 on that day. I think we finished low tier as well. We ran.
Yep, we finished low tier.
We ran cruise, and then we ran singles, and we did best of 5 for all the singles, which was really awesome, and ran that through to the night, and then just hung out in the night. So
had some dinner.
There was a few events in there. We had low tier, cruise, doubles, and singles.
You're forgetting my wonderful breakfast buffet, dude.
Dude, that was...
How could you forget?
Well, I didn't eat any of it, so...
Yeah, I know.
It's pretty easy to forget in my mind.
I'm sorry, man. Oh, I have to find some better vegan options next time.
The potato gems were good, though. I did smash quite a few potato gems.
I brought the air fryer down. Great decision.
So, yeah, I think if anyone looks to run one in their own region, it's pretty easy to do. It was just...
Definitely.
Book an Airbnb and then sell tickets. So I think all up, we sold tickets for $150. The Airbnb cost about $80 to $90 a head. So we had money left over, which we used for food and we used to put towards the pot prizes as well. And then we threw in some extra money as well, and you threw in some extra money on top of that again. So as TOs, we're definitely more out of pocket than the attendees. But I think next time round we could do it where if we raise the ticket price a bit, we'd have a much bigger pot.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Which would be better.
Yeah, that's something I've been looking at doing for next time. Really, like, if people are worried about selling the tickets and covering their losses, people will be interested. There's no way that you won't find 16 people in your area that aren't keen. $150 sounds like a lot, but you're offering, because we also covered food. We covered 2 dinners as well and a breakfast. So if you can't find 16 people that want 2 nights accommodation, free food, some awesome melee, sleepover with mates, then there aren't 16 people in your region. Like, you will sell the tickets. It's such a good opportunity for everyone.
Yeah, and we had everyone from the top player in our region down to like one of the newer players in our region, Dozium.
Nicely worded.
Not the worst, dude. He won amateurs last week. But yeah, so so we had the skill level gap. So we had some top players. We had Decker, Russell, Quetz, Smope Up, Jaybirds, sort of top level players. Then we had some mid level players, and then we had some lower level players as well. So it was a good combo of kind of a mix of the whole scene in terms of where people are at in terms of their skill level, which I was kind of worried about to start with, because I thought, our top players going to want to play friendlies with lower level players, but I really didn't need to worry, because especially by the Saturday night, the Monday night, especially by the second night, everyone was just, there was no divide anymore. Yeah. There was no divide.
Yeah, everyone was playing with everyone. It was great. Boo Earns was playing some rounds with Jaybirds. Quetz was playing with my man Tofu, who also plays Peach, and he was showing him some Peach tech and stuff. It was great.
Yeah.
I think Oro was gutted. He couldn't make it and play with Decker, but he got screwed over.
What are you going to do? Like, I think when Oro came to the house to drop Decker off and play for a little bit, and then he saw the house.
Pain in his eyes.
Yeah, he was like, oh man, I just want to stay. This is so good.
Yeah, the house was way bigger than we thought it would be when we got there. Like, I was expecting, maybe to be like a 2-story sort of mansion-ish sort of place. But it was all on like 1 story. It was a massive long house with like 6 or 7 bedrooms. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Did you want to have a chat about maybe some of the roadblocks, or maybe things in hindsight we think could have been done a little better?
Yeah, I think, well, in terms of running the event, choosing location in hindsight, I would have chosen something that was more remote, just because of the noise complaints that we had. So I think you're looking at a
Yeah.
bunch of places now for next year that are just a bit more off the beaten track.
Yeah, the keywords are secluded and private. So it's sort of like I'm planning a romantic getaway, but not quite.
For 16 people, 16 boys.
Yeah, we're a cult of yeah, that was something that didn't really, like, it never occurred to me. I don't know if it occurred to you that, like, we've got 16 men and boys in a house with drinks. I didn't, like, in a residential area, I didn't even think, like, man, maybe we might make a bit of noise here.
Yeah, well, I thought we're pretty chill dudes, right? We play video games. We're not having super loud music, parties. People aren't getting really, really drunk because then you can't play very well. So I thought, you know, we'll be fine in terms of sound. But yeah, I didn't realize how loud Mafia would be and how just putting 16 people in a room, how sound starts to escalate and people talk louder and then louder and then louder.
Well, that was the thing. Because we'd gotten those noise complaints, and the next night we were like, okay, we got to keep it down. We're gonna get kicked out onto the road if we make too much more noise. And you know, we didn't play Mafia, we didn't do any of this stuff, but just general conversation tends to elevate itself naturally because everyone's trying to get their voice heard. So we kept having to go, okay, guys, we know you're just having a conversation, but please shut up.
Yeah, that's what sucked as a TO, because me being the like dad of the group, having kids of my own.
But you're used to it, right? That's your
yeah. But I kind of getting away from the family. Don't want to have to get my dad voice on. But usually, because when I've gone away for Melee in the past, it's been with just a couple of friends to a national tournament that we've had here, like BAM or OHN or something like that. And then there's only like 5 or 6 of us, and so it's a small group. It's people that I know and that I trust, that I'm really good friends with, and so it's a lot easier if you just say, "Hey guys, we need to keep it down," or "We can't smoke inside." They'll listen to you. But when you got people who don't necessarily have that history with you, and they want to smoke their whatever it is inside, and they want to have the window open.
What's it called? I don't know.
Shishu or something. I can't even remember.
Pichu.
Pichu. They want to smoke their Pichu. Yeah, and then having to get the dad voice on and say, "No, we need to like shut everything up because the noise is too much." So you have to come inside, and then them arguing with me. You know, we'll just do the. And then having to be like, "No," and then on the second night, like just having to be the nag of the group was a bit shit.
Yeah. Being the killjoy.
Yeah. So that was kind of annoying, and then as well being. Well, I guess this is TO life, right? Being the last person responsible for the house. So everyone had left, and then I did what I call my final sweep of the house to go through and make sure everything was good. And then a bunch of air cons were left on, so I had to like hunt around to like find remotes to turn these air cons off. But it was pretty good. Like everyone helped out, but it was 9. We had to be out by 10. It's 9 a.m. and most people are still asleep. We're going and waking everyone up, like. You know, when you're the one responsible, it's a bit harder. It'd be so much better to just attend the event. But then if you just leave it to someone else, sometimes it just never happens. So that was a downside, which I think could be solved. Like being more remote so we can be louder would solve that. So I wouldn't have to nag much, if at all.
Definitely.
And then having a later checkout as well would solve the like tidying up in the morning issue. So I don't have to...
Yeah.
Even though we're all going to sleep at 3 a.m., I got to get up at like 7:30, 8 o'clock to start cleaning the house. If we have a later checkout, like 12 o'clock or 2 o'clock, then that would solve that as well.
It's definitely something I'll be looking at with the accommodation for next time. Will be a late checkout.
I think we did a low tier Ironman that didn't work. So low tier Ironman, you had 3 characters that you would work through, and it just wasn't very enjoyable. People didn't really get into it. Yeah. There was a couple of players who'd been around for 10 plus years.
I loved it.
Like, well, you loved it because you're Ganon. You play a low tier character, so it worked in your favor. But yeah, I think it just wasn't that fun. And you know it's not fun when you're like, do you want to run an amateur bracket? And usually in singles and stuff, people are like, yeah, let's do it. They're super keen to play more. And then I'm like, do you want to run an amateur bracket? And everyone's like, fuck no. Like, I don't want to do that. Why would you run an amateur bracket?
Yeah, exactly.
So
I think that was a sign that people were not keen to keep playing that.
Yeah. It was just too jank because no one really knows how to play the low tier characters. So it just wasn't fun melee.
It was just bad melee.
It was. Yeah. It was just terrible. So I think we could replace that event in the future. Jaybird suggested doing a teams crew battle because crews was sick.
Yeah, that
Crews,
was interesting.
Crews went really, really well. So we ran draft crews. So the two lowest seeds at the event, being Dozium and Watlez, became team captains, and they would, choose who was on their team. And I think doing draft crews when you've got such a mix of player talent was really good. And everyone gets behind it. Everyone's excited. Everyone's in the same room watching it, cheering on and stuff like that.
Dude, I felt more pressure on me in crews than any other game I played at Summit. that felt the worst.
Yeah. But then I had the flip.
Yeah, I think crews.
I had the flip side.
Sorry, go on.
Well, I had the flip side where I did really well in crews. I took 6 stocks.
Yeah.
And so I took 4 stocks off Booins, who could beat me. Like we go 50-50. And then I go into 1 stock against you, who tends to beat me in the past, and then take 2 stocks, get a stock, and then get a clutch rest.
Ouch.
That was good.
Yeah.
So that felt good as crews. But crews, there's so much pressure on crews because everyone's watching you, your team's relying on you.
Yeah, I think team crews would be probably a good replacement. Low tier Iron Man's got to go.
See you later.
I think was it Quetz that suggested sort of a money match idea where you give each player a set amount of money?
I think that who was that? Maybe that was Tofu who suggested that.
It was either Quetz or Tofu. It was
it
one
was
of the
a peach
disgusting
player.
peach mains. One of those filthy fuckers. So you give a set amount of money, say like $40 to each player, and by the end of the weekend, they have to exhaust that $40 in money matches. And you could sort of have handicaps, so where if they want to be dodgy and just play against low tier players, the lower level player can say, well, okay, I'll money match you, but you only get 2 stocks, or you have to do this, you have to play this character, blah 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 blah. So I think that would also be a interesting thing to sort of run over the weekend, just as something that's in the background, I guess.
Yeah, that would be cool. It's hard because something like that, you don't know how it's going to play out because it's got so many levels of complexity to it in terms of tracking how many money match games have people played, working out and negotiating the handicaps that need to be had. Because if a top player's playing a bottom player, maybe it needs to be 1 stock against 4 and the top player has to play a low tier. You've got to make it so there's basically a 50-50 chance of each person winning or a close. But yeah, that's one of the ones that could work or it could just be not very good. I don't know.
Yeah, it could go either way, I think.
It might be something to trial in like one of our casual weekly events. Some version of it.
Yeah, that could be good,
and see how it works.
Yeah, just give everyone like $5 or $10.
Yeah.
And see how that goes.
Because something that's been really fun at locals was something that Tristan invented, which is it's a $1 money match and it's random. And so you get like one random pick character and it's random stage as well. And it's only 1 game. Like that's it. So you might get Bowser or Kirby or someone shit, or you might get, Fox, Falco, or you might even get your main or something. So that's really fun. But we didn't get to do that because I think in our schedule we had so many events that just never ended up happening because people just wanted to chill out and do friendlies.
Yeah. Yeah, it was something I think we didn't account for, was that people just want to play Melee in friendlies, whatever. Like, they're not as interested in that is a fun event, but at the same time, people would rather like level up a bit because it's a good opportunity to play with top players and learn a bit from them. I think they'd be more keen to just play friendlies at the end of the day.
Yeah, I think really you got your key events of doubles and singles that everyone's super keen for, and then anything around that should just be more casual and fun and not that serious. I think low tier was a bit serious and also not very good. Whereas Cruise was just, yes, it tests your skill level like singles does, but it's also like pulling everyone together. So you're mixing these people who don't usually mix and giving them like a social experience. Cruise did that really well. Mafia did that amazingly because you've got people that have never spoken to each other or hardly spoken at all. And then you're all got to talk to each other and learn about each other in this game. That was really good.
Yeah, you've got people like Blasco who like doesn't seem to talk too much in those like large group situations, standing up going, "I am Blasco, I am a traitor," or whatever, doing these like arm signals. It was great, man.
It was some good times to be had. And then
Definitely.
yeah, people being called out, and you know, some people were good at it, some people weren't.
What sorry, go on.
And Dozium like fucking up.
Oh no. We had to stop so, let's go really meta and go into what went wrong with the TOing of Mafia.
Doesn't no one
I think we have to...
No one really wants to TO Mafia because everyone just wants to play Mafia. So I think
exactly, yeah.
Yeah, in future, I'd be happy to TO it in future now that I've played and had a go playing it.
Yeah.
Keep it running smoothly, but that game just runs so long and can just run on forever.
Oh man. Yeah, we had some days that went for at least half an hour where we just couldn't decide who we were gonna knock off at the end of the day. Oh man, but it was good fun. Were there any other perceivable issues? Would you say?
Well, I think just when not issues, but when looking at a house, we picked a house because we're in Queensland and it was summer when we held our event, so it's hot. So we picked a house that had a pool. And I think one Booins swam in the pool in the morning, had a quick dip, and otherwise no one touched the pool at all. And so anything that's not food or melee related is just superfluous and not really needed. So there's no point spending there's no point spending extra money on pools or scenery or, you know, nice gardens or even the local area. You don't need to be in a good spot. Having takeaway options was good, but you could get around that.
Yeah, it was good.
But if everyone knows we're going to be in a secluded romantic retreat spot, they can all bring beer and they can all bring their own food. I think. Yeah. You don't need to be in a close local area to food because no one left the house really. People left for coffee and then maybe lunch, and quickly for like half an hour or an hour they went out and quickly got something. And then we had dinner at the house and stuff. So, yeah,
we got Uber Eats, which was a blessing because I think singles ran a little over.
Yeah, but I think having aircon in the house was really important with lots of sweaty dudes.
Definitely.
Having lots of air beds because the house had 8 rooms, but each of the beds in the rooms was a queen or a double or something like that.
Yeah.
So technically it slept 16, but you would have to, each person would have to cozy up with basically a stranger. And so I went out the day before and bought 6 air beds. You brought one.
Yeah.
Blasco and Booins bought one. So I think, having lots of air beds.
That is something to consider when organising it is bedding. And, like, if you need extra sheets as well, it might not occur to you. But, yeah, like we said, it's meant to, you know, house 16, but you're going to have some people top and tailing, you know. Yeah. So consider that if you're booking a place and think about how many actual beds there are and if you need any more.
What I would do next time, because I'm happy to supply the air beds, but I supplied sheets and doonas and stuff for about 6 or 7 beds. And that was a lot of gear to both pack. Like my wife cleaned all that stuff before the event so the boys would have clean sheets. And then you got to unpack it.
I hope she cleaned them after it.
And then she definitely cleaned them after as well. But that was a lot of effort. And so I think something that we did that was really good was when you sell the tickets, because how do you get people to buy the first ticket versus the last ticket? You know, how do you put pressure on people to get a ticket as soon as possible? And something that we did that came from my experience just going to nationals with friends was whoever pays us first, they get first choice of bed. And so whoever pays second gets second choice. And so basically the order people pay you is the order that they get to choose their bed. And so basically the later you pay, the shittier your sleeping situation becomes and the less choice you have. And so that's a good, puts a fire under people's bum to at least sell the first tickets. And then as tickets started selling out and there's only 2 left or 3 left or whatever, then people, started filling out those spots because they were scared of missing out. But I think that was really good. But next time, if you're in the bottom 8 and you're sleeping on an airbed, you got to bring your own sheets next time, I think.
Yeah, definitely. I think that'll be in the sort of a caveat to the thing is please bring your own bed sheets
Yeah.
if you've got them, and a pillow, whatever. Towels was something we didn't consider. I think there wasn't enough towels to go around quite for everyone.
Yeah.
But I think a few smart people brought their own towels. I would say, other thing would be like the naming of it, I guess, would be the only other thing that like caught the eye of some people. But like at the end of the day, we went with that because we wanted it to be clear what the event was and the sort of vibe that we were going for and the events that we would be having. So we sort of thought, Summit, it perfectly encapsulates it. It's what we were trying to recreate for Queensland, I guess.
Yeah. And our local tournament's called Downsmash, so it made sense to call it Downsmash
Yeah.
Summit. And I think, the naming was out of a fear of not being able to sell tickets or a fear of not being able to clearly communicate to people what this event was. And so if we couldn't do that, people wouldn't buy tickets. But then because tickets sold out so quickly, then the name Summit ended up causing more harm than good because people were
It's a bit of a meme.
People were confused because they're like, oh, why isn't this made up of top players? Why is there no voting process to get people into this house? Because really it was for the local scene. And while a couple of interstaters came and tickets are open to all of Australia, it's really for the Queensland scene to, I guess, build that scene and to build friendships in that area. And so I think we could definitely drop the name Downsmash Summit and change it to basically anything we want. I think Super Smash Slumber Sleepover Party was one of the suggestions. I don't know if we go with that. And then we'll throw around.
It's pretty.
We'll throw around Heroes or something.
Downsmash Heroes, because that Heroes thing became a bit of a meme after I think the announcement video I made calling everyone a hero.
Yeah.
I don't mind that name. I think you came up with the name Melee Mansion or Mansion of Melee. I think it's quite a good name.
Yeah.
But we'll keep cooking on it and we'll see what we come up with.
But I think now that people know that we've run it and they kind of know what it is, and Melee Mansion kind of explains what it is as well, but it makes it separate from the Summit that people know and love and watch in the States and how that works.
Yeah.
Make it a more local thing that people want to be a part of. I wish we did better content at the event. Like I was so busy enjoying myself at the event, I didn't do any vlogs or anything like that. So it'd be good to have more content of the event, even like to look back on, to make videos of, as well as for marketing for the next event.
Definitely.
That would have been good. But I think next time, because I was TOing and being the dad, I didn't really have the headspace for that, as well as trying to be a competitor. Yeah. So I think next time maybe we could get someone to be a content person for the event and just go around, do some vlogs or just even any footage of what was going on at the event.
We could have streamed Mafia and stuff, or like recorded Mafia. Would have been a lot of fun as well. The stream was tricky because I'd never done any like dual monitor or what's it called, head-to-head stuff before. So trying to get the cameras to work and stuff for like crews, doubles, singles, like had to keep changing stuff and whatnot. Was a little tricky, but I'm sort of prepared for next time. And I think we had people on commentary for a lot of the top 8 singles, which was really good. Though I think for a lot of the under top 8 stuff, the mic was barren.
Yeah.
So maybe next time it might be good to see if we can get some people keen to talk through some of the lower games as well.
Yeah. But then I think, everyone just wanted to play, and so very
exactly. Yeah, it comes back to that thing where people just want to play Melee.
And then it was
at the end of the day,
as you get to like top 8, top 5 sort of thing, most people are out, and then people want to commentate because they want to see what happens, and we kind of got commentary for that sort of stuff. But otherwise, it was very spotty for most of it. I think we thought stream would be more important than it was for the event. I think we had the video feed from the TVs, like the gameplay footage going up to a big TV at the house.
That was great.
Which was really good. And having stream so like other people could be involved and watch it was good. But I think I thought it would be a bigger deal than it actually was. It didn't make the event super hype because of stream. It was same as like our dodgy little stream setup at um, at our weeklies. It adds hype
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it makes it more exciting when you got to play on stream and, you know, people are watching and it's going to be recorded.
Mm.
But we didn't get like hundreds of viewers or anything like that. It
No,
was,
well, we certainly got more than we usually do, like by a mile. But it wasn't the big thing that I certainly built it up to be that I thought it was going to be. But again, like, it was sort of like how you were saying, oh, I wish I had, vlogged and recorded. So like, I wish I had, maybe like done a little more with the stream, like in terms of like making sure it looked a little nicer. But I was just playing Melee.
yeah, well, that's the thing. When you got 16 people there, they're all competitors. If you want to have a good stream, you really need to have a single dedicated stream person who's making sure that there's people on commentary, making sure that the overlays look good, that people are talking in chat and all of that sort of stuff, which we didn't really have. I think, most of the day.
I guess at the end of the day, it's like, it's about priorities and what you think is most important for the event. And that was sort of an epiphany I had while talking to you at Summit, was because I focus on stream a lot, I run stream a lot. Is that the best thing if you're running events? Is that the thing that actually makes the event great for the people attending, I guess?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think it was a really good event. I think the fact that it is self-funded, that you don't need sponsors, that you don't need advertisers, you don't need a lot of stream viewers or anything like that to make the event financially viable. If you just set the ticket price at the right price, and basically as TOs we paid our own tickets as well, then it's kind of just like you're paying for a weekend away with your mates. And so
exactly,
everything's covered by the ticket sale. So pots covered, accommodations covered, we covered food and stuff as well. So as a TO, you're not going to be out thousands of dollars for the event.
You definitely got to come at it with the right mind that this is not, this is not like a money-making thing. You're not doing this you're not going to come out of this with thousands and thousands of dollars in profit. Like, you're doing it for your community, and you're pretty much running it at right on even.
Yeah, or at a loss if you want to make it better.
or for some at a loss. But that's what it's about.
But it's not a huge loss. Like, it's not thousands of dollars as loss or anything like that. Basically,
on the street.
Basically, it could be run just for the price of your own ticket as a TO. Yeah. If you wanted to run it, you could sell the tickets and then, you just pay for your own ticket, and then that's the only cost to you as a TO. You've got more work than everyone else, but in terms of cost, it's definitely viable. So basically any region could do this, assuming, and you wouldn't even have to do it with 16, like we did with 16 people, because our region's, I'm going to say it's pretty big for Australia, but in terms of the US, it's like a tiny region. We have about, we have about maybe 30, 35, maybe you could push it up to 40 active players who come maybe once a month or once every 2 months. So we were able to get 16 people. But smaller regions, you wouldn't have to get as big a house. You could do it with 8 people instead of 16, or you could do it with basically as many people as you want. So you can scale,
everything
scale
scales.
up or down.
Yeah, everything scales. Yeah.
And it scales because of the ticketing system. Because we sell tickets, you can scale up as high as you want, and you just adjust the price of the ticket or whatever, and you can scale down and just get a smaller house and keep that accommodation costs, as low as, or keep it reasonable. Yeah,
you'll still be able to cover food if you want to offer food. I thought that was a good idea to have the breakfast and the we covered a breakfast and 2 dinners. I thought that was really good, covering people like food. And having food paid for them is always nice.
Dude, that was so good, because you would just walk around with your phone to each person. And one night we had Domino's, and it's like, okay, you get 1 pizza each. What pizza do you want?
Yeah.
And then I can just go through Domino's and add my pizza, take away this, take away that, and customize. Same with Zambreros, when we got Mexican the second night. Could just go through the Uber Eats and say, here's what I want. And so then it just all got delivered, and everyone got their own thing.
It's a great way to do it.
There was no sharing.
The driver did get lost, because the driveway was a shared driveway. So I'm looking, it's I get the notification where it's oh, your driver is arriving with your food. So I have a look at my phone, and I look at the map, and the asshole has driven right past the house, and he's nearly gone back up onto the main road. he's out of here. So I've like run out onto the street to try and get our food. But other than that, the delivery went well.
But yeah, so I think that kind of summarizes Downsmash Summit, how it went, how to run it if someone else wants to run it. So hopefully if there's other TOs for a region out there that want to run a summit-like event, that they can get some ideas from this.
I strongly recommend.
Dude, it was great.
It was a great time. Yeah. I think everyone had a great time as well. Deca, Quets, people that came from interstate, Queenslanders. Everyone had a ball.
Yeah, everyone had an epic time. And there was a lot of people who didn't get to go who wanted to go. And I think next year it'll be even easier to sell tickets because people know how good it was. And like...
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and I think February was a great month for us to run it because there's not much else happening around that time.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it'll definitely be sticking around February for next year.